A job, baby.
Miss Jenni, Miss Jenni's podcast. Hello, Jenny's Angels, and to anybody new, hey, what's up? Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Okay, y'all, we have a very juicy, very succulent video for us today. If you read the title, then you already know what we are talking about. We are talking about trips and how to plan them. Y'all, we are in quarantine, and I know we feeling locked up, won't let us out. But, you know, things are getting safer out here, and I know a lot of people are traveling. Even if you shouldn't be, a lot of people are traveling. So, your girl is going to teach y'all how to plan a trip. If you didn't watch my vlogs that I have on this channel, link will be in the description box down below. I went to Punta Cana with my girls and I planned the whole trip. So, I'm going to teach y'all how to plan your own trip. Whether it's for birthdays or anniversaries, vacations, family trips, whatever, you about to learn it today. But before we hop into it, please leave a like on this video, subscribe if you haven't already, turn your post notification bells on so you are notified anytime I post, and let go. Okay, y'all, so we are gonna get into it. We are going to talk about the steps that it takes to plan a trip. Now, the first and most important one is start writing down your guest list. Any single person that you think that you might want, start writing it down so you know you can start chatting up with friends, seeing what they're up to, you know, and it can then eventually concrete your guest list. Keep in mind, y'all, you can invite 50 people to a trip and it ends up just being 5 people or 3 people or 6 people. Like, the amount of people that you invite on the trip will not be the people that come. Period. And it's just like, you know, people may have family obligations, the money may not be looking right. There could be a plethora of reasons why people can't attend your trip, but just keep that in mind. Okay. So as you're planning the trip, the best type of app I would say use is Google Docs. That is your best friend because 1, automatically saves. 2, when you're done, you can just, hey, can I get your email? Hey, can I get your email? And share it amongst every single person on your guest list. You feel me? So start planning your trip through Google Docs. Right. So now, next step. After you figured out where you want to go, start looking up flights. You know, I would say choose 3 different flighting places like JetBlue, Delta Airline, Spirit. If you're really trying to save money, I personally wouldn't do Spirit, but I'm not against people who do Spirit. You feel me? So get about 3 different places so you have backup options just in case, of all around the same prices, so you know you're given a price range for the flights. And in that Google Doc, include the link, include the price, and include the possible time of the flight. If you want your trip to be going smoothly, you will need to leave very little room for people to ask a bunch of questions. What I say by that is, if you didn't organize your trip properly and all your guests are saying like, oh, what time, with this, with that, with that, with that, you're just gonna end up doing all the work anyways. So the best thing to do is have all those things planned out to a T. So when people see your proposal, it's just like, oh, this seems like a well thought out trip. I wanna go. You feel me? You get what I mean. You get what I'm saying? So, you know, start writing down your flights, times, prices. Now, if you have friends that don't live in the same city as you and you're thinking of inviting them, also look up the flight for their area and put the price and the possible time. Because if you want everyone meeting at a certain place at a certain time, like say you want everyone to catch like a 7 a.m., 8 a.m. flight so they can be at the spot before 2, you got to make sure you have the links and everything ready so it's just boom, right there for them. Period. Now, the next step, you have to figure out, are you doing Airbnb, hotel, resort? Again, I feel like a resort is more so of a vibe when you're out of the country, but hey, you never know, you might just want to be in a resort, not that far from you. So yes, you have to figure out where are you and your guests going to stay. Hotel, resorts, or Airbnb. Once you figured out what type of vibe you want, you know, you can either have that top choice that you've done good research on, you know, make sure the area is safe, you know, good reviews. Look at reviews, guys. Reviews are your best friend. They're your best friend. They're your best friend. If a place only got 9 reviews, don't mess with it. If a place has like 2,000 reviews, obviously you may not need to read all of them, but read a good couple, you know, to make sure it's positive. High ratings, because high ratings does not equal expensive. It can, but it doesn't always. Try to go for places with a 4.0 and up rating, because at the end of the day, it's better to do the extra research to find a place good in your budget with a good rating than to just quickly find a place that's like 3 stars and it moves like a 3-star joint. You feel me? So y'all, yes, either nail it down to one place that you really want, or if you're still kind of like, ooh, so many good options, put maybe 3, and when you finish all the rest of the planning, you can invite your guests to help you choose, like, oh, which one do you guys like better? You know, if you want to make them feel more included in the trip planning. If you just want to plan it yourself, just choose one. That's up to you, sweetheart. You know what I mean? Me personally, I just chose the place and sent it. I'm trying to do something else, so I sent lists. It all depends. You know, your prerogative. Now, next, and again, this is on the Google Slides. You have to do the research on the activities, because nobody wants to go on a trip and then when we get there, oh, what do you want to do? I don't know, what do you want to do? Nobody got the time for that. If you plan this trip, please have some ideas and activities on hand, please. So what you should do, again, saving yourself more time so you don't have to deal with future like irritations. Find out at least 5 activities that you want to do. Say me and friends wanted to go to LA. I gotta do 5 LA lit activities that, you know, my friends will also enjoy, that I will have a good time as well, and just to give them options. And again, when you actually get there, you can always change things around. You don't have to go through a strict itinerary, but it is good just to have names so you have mad backup ideas, you know what I mean? And also, restaurants, you know what I mean? Have restaurants of the places that you want to go, of the place that you're going, just on hand so people aren't thinking again, what do you want to do? I don't know, what do you want to do, you know? And again, if this varies from if you're doing a, you know, calmer trip versus like an out of the country trip. If you're trying to go, like for example, Punta Cana, I, you know, searched up a boating event, you know, all these things, ATVing, this, that, and the third, like, just to give us mad different activities. But say if I was in Atlanta, I would just see, oh, what type of good restaurants that they have down there, what type of beaches is valid, what type of, like, you know what I mean? It varies on the place that you're going, but make sure you just have activities on hand, you know what I mean? So now, once you finish with the Google Docs that has been comprised of the date you want to go, the place that you're going, the flights, flight prices, flight times, flight links, hotel, Airbnb, or resort, price, links, how many stars they have, and honestly, list the amenities for your guests. Like, you know, again, this can also entice people that may have been on the fence of going to want to go. You got to list the amenities of where you're staying, you know? So, list the amenities of that, what they have to offer, what they don't, list the activities, you know, and don't just say, oh, I want to do this. Actually search, provide links, and provide prices. Because that's one thing. When it comes to the money part of a trip, trips always sound amazing till the money part comes. So you will just want to, when you send people the proposal of what type of trip that you're trying to do, you have to give them the boom, point blank dollar amount. Not the estimated, I'm not quite sure, the dollar amount. So Giving people a specific dollar amount is very, very helpful. Trust me. So yeah, once you finish doing that, you send your proposal out to your guests. So something I would do is, write down in your notes a general invitation that you like to give people. Hey, how you doing? I just want to cordially invite you to blah 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 at blah blah blah. I would love it if you can come. Because not everyone deserves to see the Google Docs. If they don't even that interested in going, you don't get the pleasure of seeing the Google Docs. But if, they're like, oh, they're very interested, let them know, I have a detailed plan of the trip. What's your email? Send them over the Google Docs. They will let you know whether they can arrive or not. Let your guests know 5 to 6 months before the trip that you want to go on the trip. And this is just depending on how big the trip is. But if it's a very, very big trip, like say if you're trying to go out of the country, give people a 5 to 6 months notice that you are thinking about planning a trip, right? Just be like, hey girl, I'm thinking about planning something, I don't know. So your friends can at least keep in mind that a trip could be a brewing. Now, you need at least 4 months before the trip, and this is, again, I'm talking about out of the country trips. For in-state trips, I feel like about 2 to 3 months is a good heads up before you start asking people like, oh, let's start booking the places and let's start booking the things. So out of country, at least 4 months. In state, like, we're just going to a different state, a different city, maybe 2 months, 2.5 months notice of the trip, right? So yeah, y'all, it's pretty easy, but it will take a couple of hours to properly plan a trip, and that's just facts. So tell me, guys, what did you think of this video? Was it helpful to any of my people who like to travel? How do you guys plan for trips? And do you do something similar to this? Let your girl know. And if you did enjoy this video, please leave a like, comment, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and since you're just subscribed, you might as well turn your post notification bells on so you're notified anytime I post. Yes. And I will see you guys next time. And you know how we do.
My job, baby. Miss Jenni. Miss Jenni. Miss Jenni.